little sleepy. Can you tell us a bedtime story?
Yeah, man, can you tell us a story?
Come on, kids, you know it's past my bedtime. You know this.
Oh, come on. Your bedtime stories are always the best.
I guess if it'll help you get to sleep. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
A one, two, three. Bobby was a gangster, so it seemed. He talked the talk and he was always mean. Never knew his father, so his mama worked hard, but Bobby never gave her much regard. See, at 7 he started repping local colors and learning sign language from his older brothers. Streets were the teachers where he learned the rules, cause none of the teachers could reach him at school. Getting in flats and giving black eyes and finding older kids who had supplies. His brothers showing Bobby how to have a good time, puffing on grass at the age of 9. Yeah, his hood education was going good, stealing shoes, taking blues just as he should. But as it should one day come around, he learned what the thug life was all about.
Run with the gang, can't get no glory. Dead him in jail, that's the end of the story. To murder and rob, that's the devil's dance. Best get out while you got the chance.
Chilling in the car with Simon and Will, just talking with chops they were trying to kill. Irony or fate, it didn't matter. Rat-a-tat-tat and all the glass shattered. It happened so fast, they were all caught lacking. Bobby barely caught a glance at who was packing. 20 bullets later and Simon was dead, and Will with the t-shirt oozing out red. Bobby was lucky, only caught one in the shoulder. On that day he grew 10 years older and his heart grew colder than it already was. He decided it was time to start fighting with guns. 10 years old when he got him at 9. Not just defense, it was revenge on his mind. The shooter posting pics saying he's smoking on Simon, so Bobby thought he ought to get to unalive it. The shooter's name was Miles and he had a big mouth. Never thought big talking would send things south. Bragging online about the bodies he caught, telling all the ops to come take their shot. Even said where he'd be that Saturday. Bobby saw the post, so he planned his play. Found him a driver and another gun toter. They set out driving in search of closure in a stolen car that still was hot. At a red light, they were spotted by cops. The night now colored with blue and red, and a siren sound filled the boys with dread. Ted was the driver and he hit the gas. Bobby watching as the cops came driving up fast. 15 blocks they did the dash, hit a dip in the road and man they crashed.
Run with the gang, can't get no glory. Dead him in jail, that's the end of the story. Rob, that's the devil's dance. Best get out while you got the chance.
Bobby waking up in a hospital room. His mama was crying full of somber and gloom. He said, "Don't cry," but he couldn't console her. The cops came in and the party was over. He had broke bones, but he'd broken the law. Shame he never ever listened to the word of his mom. Now he's in the jaws of the judicial system. 10 charges sent him to the little boy prison. Bobby was mean, but he didn't have muscle, so he got beat up when he tried to tussle with the other little boys that were misled. They punched him in the stomach and socked him in the head, so Bobby kept his mouth shut most of the time, putting all his effort into writing some rhymes. Maybe he could be a rapper when he's out the pen and get back to hanging with the gang bros again.
Run with the gang, can't get no glory. Dead him in jail, that's the end of the story. To murder and rob, that's the devil's dance. Best get out while you got the chance.
2 years to Bobby felt like forever. When he finally got out, he got back together with the same group of boys that he knew before, and they pulled him right back into the game of war. See, Miles was dead, but the fighting didn't stop. Both side shooters had bodies they caught, so the gang needed Bobby to pick up the slack. When they gave him a gun, there was no going back, cause a rapper came to town, Bobby had to go. Turns out some of the ops were at the show. All the guns were pulled and rat-a-tat-tat. A bullet hit his brain and Bobby fell flat. Ain't no glory with him lying on the floor. His handsome face, now blood and gore. Bobby tried to breathe, but he lost the fight, and he went into the dark cause there wasn't no light. Just like that, Bobby's story was over, and his so-called brothers were looking for closure. One last thing that you need to know: Bobby got shot 5 years ago. Since then, 10 more boys lined in chalk. Plenty more in the pen for letting off shots, and no signs of stopping from either side. Rather than move on, they die for pride. So be careful who you hang with, or you might pay, because this is the type of thing that happens every day. Kind of. It's not a story about one person, but about a younger generation. A bunch of kids who don't have people to look up to, so they just do what the older kids are doing. Those kids teach them to be violent, teach them to be irresponsible, and teach them to fight each other. And like the story says, a lot of them die before they even can graduate high school.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I don't want that for you guys, okay?
Okay, little Sleepy, we won't.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a degree in information technology.
I like how that sounds, kid. Now y'all scram, I need to go to bed.